Welcome to the first episode of Swamp Fire Kitchen. I'm Chef Parker, and this is my brother Jason. My twin brother Adam's behind the camera, behind the scenes. And we're going to be bringing you some episodes going forward of teaching people how to cook amazing Louisiana and Southern style cuisine. We started a small business up here in Shreveport called Swamp Fire Cajun Seasoning. And this is kind of help promoting our seasoning. Swamp Fire is a beautiful seasoning that has low sodium, no MSG, and what is chock full of flavor. There's a lot of flavor in this seasoning. The reason why this came about, it took me 4 years to come up with this seasoning, to work and get it together, because the other guys just had way too much sodium and way too much salt in their seasoning. And so this way it gets the great flavor without all the sodium. So you can go to www.theswampfire.com. They're $5.50 a bottle, and we are so excited to bring the great flavors of Louisiana to you. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making a rendition of my favorite dishes. My favorite thing is cornbread. I love cornbread. Hot water cornbread, regular cornbread. I don't like the sweet cornbread. I'm just going to say it. I don't like sweet cornbread. I do like savory, I guess, cornbread. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a cornbread, but we're going to Louisiana it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some boudin. We got some beautiful boudin here. And we have some amazing Louisiana crawfish. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these crawfish, we're going to chop them up a little bit finer. We're going to take the boudin out of the casing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to saute the Trinity. We have onions, bell pepper, and celery. And then we have the pope, the garlic. And we're going to saute this. And then we're going to add the boudin, and then we're going to add the shrimp. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make our cornbread, add it together, and then we're going to put it in a pan with a stick of butter, and then we're going to bake it. What we're doing is that right now we're at the very tail end of the Mardi Gras season in Louisiana. Up here in Shreveport, we're celebrating Mardi Gras. So tomorrow, we're filming this Saturday, March 1st. And so tomorrow, we're going to be riding in the Krewe of Highland Parade here in Shreveport. And I'm making this for the people on my float. So we're excited to cook for our float friends. And we're excited to share this recipe with people. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to start by melting this butter. I have butter about 3 tablespoons in this pan. I'm going to get this melted. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask Jason if he'll start taking the crawfish, cutting it up finely, and then taking the boudin out of the casing. What we have is these spoons. I'm going to use one of our Swamp Fire spoons. It has our logo on it. And so while we wait for this butter to start melting, we're going to add in our Trinity, and we're going to saute it down. So so if you'll start chopping up that shrimp, crawfish a little bit more finely, and that boudin. So one of our inspirations growing up, and all of us watched him. My mom, Swamp Fire Mom is what we call her, our mother, my brothers, my grandfather. We started watching Justin Wilson. So growing up, some of our inspirations was Justin Wilson. Justin Wilson was one of the first people who brought Louisiana cuisine to the general public. And so I love Justin Wilson, and he told some of the best stories, best jokes. And while I'm waiting and while Jason's cutting up some of his crawfish, I'm going to tell one of the jokes I heard, because I watch a lot of his shows, reruns, because he has since passed. And this is one of my favorites. So while we're waiting for this butter to melt, I'm going to tell you one of his stories. You had Doodah and Boudreaux. They went fishing. And while Boudreaux and Doodah was fishing, the boat tipped over. And sadly, Doodah drowned. Well, the sheriff got there and told Boudreaux, he said, Boudreaux, you're going to have to go to Doodah's wife and tell her that he died. And he had drowned. Well, Boudreaux had a very bad stutter. And he told the sheriff, I can't. And he said, Boudreaux, I don't have the manpower to go and do that. He was like, so you're going to have to go. Since you were his best friend, it's just appropriate. Well, Boudreaux went to Doodah's wife, and we're adding in the Trinity. And he told me, he knocked on the door. She opened it and said, "Boudreaux, where's Doodah?" And he was going, do, 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 do. And he just could not get it out. And she's like, "Boudreaux, slow down." And he was going, "Doodah, do, 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 do." Couldn't get it out. And she said, "Boudreaux, just sing it." And he said, "Guess who drowned in the lake today? Doodah, Doodah." That's a Justin Wilson story, folks. So what we're doing right now is we're sauteing these vegetables. And we're going to saute them down. We're going to add, and then Jason, next if you'll, we got another, we're all for efficiency here, throwawayable stuff. And if you don't mind taking the boudin out of the casing, we're just going to do a light saute on these vegetables. Some beautiful boudin there. And we're just going to do a light saute, nothing fancy. But what we are going to do, though, is we're going to add swamp fire. Oh, let's open that up a little bit more. Get some of that flavor. No low salt, no MSG. You can add as much as you want. There's a little bit of a kick, but not a lot of spice. Sauteing this butter. Butter's beautiful.
Butter.
Love butter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add the pulp. Adding in that garlic, and it's fresh garlic. It's not jarlic. It's not from a jar. I actually sat here and pressed this garlic myself with a garlic press while I was getting everything prepared to shoot. And so what Jason's going to do now is he's just going to kind of clear up some of that boudin so it makes it easier to go into the mix here. And then what I'm going to do while he does that, I'm going to take this crawfish, add it in here, saute it with these vegetables, with the Trinity. And what's so bad is Swamp Fire Mom's going to be mad that we're making such a mess. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. So we're just continuing sauteing the vegetables. We've added the crawfish tails and just giving them a little cook. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of garlic powder. Onion powder. Tiny little dash of salt. Black pepper. And then we're going to add some more to the cornbread too when we get going. So Jason, if you don't mind, here's the cornbread. It's just yellow cornmeal. It's about 3 cups or so, maybe a little more. So what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and crack these 3 eggs into the cornmeal mixture. And there's 1 brown egg. Eggs are expensive. Almost like an arm and a leg to buy an egg. That brand. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to add buttermilk. This is the key ingredient right here to make a good cornbread, a darn good thing of cornbread. I'll shake it up a little bit, shake it up, baby. And we're doing about a cup, roughly. And if it needs a little more, you can add more. Need a little more. Need to get a different spoon? Mm-hmm. All right. Don't you wish they could smell this? Doesn't it smell delicious? For those of you in smell-o-vision in the future,
it smells delicious.
We're brothers. He's normally kind of a, you know, it's nothing new. All three of us act like brothers, so, you know. But those of you in smell-o-vision in the future, take a good whiff of that. Woo.
Did you really say that?
I sure did say that. Pour a little bit more buttermilk. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and cut the fire off these vegetables because they and crawfish. How we looking?
Good. Once you pour all that in the butter in there.
We're going to do just a tad bit more buttermilk. I think that'll be plenty. We're going to set that out of the way. And then we're going to add vegetables and crawfish. Get all that in there. All right. Set that out of the way. And then the boudin. All right, so while you stir that up, Jason, I'm going to add, because we're going to be on a float tomorrow, I have a disposable pan, so when it's all gone, we can throw everything away. Stick of butter. We got a preheated oven at 400 degrees, and we're going to melt the butter just a little bit.
Bigger bowl.
We should have got a bigger bowl. What is this, Jaws?
Yes. That's a bigger boat.
Oh, whatever. Alright, so what we're going to do, while we're getting it ready, we're going to add more seasoning to it. And there's no measuring. I don't measure. I just do it to my heart's desire until I'm ready. Garlic powder, onion powder. That's staples in any... If you come to any house in Louisiana, garlic powder, onion powder is in there. Just a little bit more, bit of salt. While he's looking for a bigger bowl, we're going to add more of that swamp fire. And then black pepper. Just close it, thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and pour this in here. So what we're going to do, while Jason takes a moment to compose himself, because, you know, we really don't need a bigger bowl. Because we're going to pour it in that big bowl, that big pan.
I just spent all that time.
I know you did, I'm sorry. And so now what we're going to do is we get ready to pour it into the big pan. I'm going to add a can of creamed corn, any type of brand that you like. The generic or name brand. You know, name brand if you're bougie. And yes, I just said bougie. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to stir that in here. So what we've done is we have our oven preheated at 400 degrees, added a stick of butter to the bottom. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add our mixture, our cornbread and Trinity and everything here into the pan. And we're going to cook it starting for 35 minutes. So let's doesn't that look good? So what we're going to do is we're going to cook it, and we're going to give it 35 minutes at first. If you feel like it needs to go a little bit further, each oven is different. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go, before we get done, before we do that, a little bit more of that fire. That swamp fire. That swamp fire. All right. Jason, if you go open the oven for me, I mean. All right. And then we will come back in about 35 minutes and we will look and see how everything is.
A few moments later.
Welcome back. So the cornbread has been cooking in the oven for about 45 minutes and we're about to take it out. So I'm excited to see what this is like. Woo woo! Ooh, that's hot. Let me put that up. Look at that. Woo. Does that look good or what?
Actually, it really looks good.
Ooh. All right, let's taste this now, shall we? We're going to take a nice little bowl here. Scoop this right here. Ooh.
You can smell that swamp fire on there. That smells good.
For smell-o-vision for the future. All right. Ready to dig in and try this? It's hot, hot. Well, found my home.
Oh my God. Y'all, that is tremendous. That is really good, actually.
So, took about 45 minutes.
I'm gonna go in for a second.
All right. I'm gonna eat the rest later. Took about 45 minutes. We did it in the oven, and it's more like a dressing consistency, but it's gonna be great tomorrow. It has that boudin and that crawfish and that Trinity, then it has the swamp fire on it. And if you want to get a little bit more crazy, you can add more swamp fire on top. So I want to take a moment and say thank you all so much for allowing us to come into your home and teach you how to cook this amazing dish. And we're looking forward to our next episode to where we will do other things. We'll be cooking other things. I think we might do our next episode. We might learn how to make a roux, maybe make a gumbo. But I wanted to say, family meals are important. All of our family events center around food. My mom, my grandmothers, my aunts, they all are amazing and were amazing cooks. They pass down their love to cooking to us. My twin brother who's behind the camera, he's amazing on the grill. Jason's a great cook. And they taught us this, and if you can cook, you don't have to go to a restaurant. You can cook great meals at home. So, again, purchase Swamp Fire. We want you to have it. We want you to try it. But I want to say, faith plays a huge, important role in everything that we do. We are living our faith, and we believe that Jesus is the center of everything that we do. We can do all things through Christ, which strengthens us, and that's the motto, basically, of our company. We can do all things through Christ. So until we meet again, may God bless you. And this is Chef Parker and Jason signing out from Swamp Fire Kitchen.